Autism and schooling. Are we giving our kids PTSD from going to school? This is really interesting. I'm covering all of this, having an open discussion right now. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ask Me World. My name is Dan. I have autism, ADHD, OCD, and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos all about this topic. So if you're new around here and you'd love to learn more and dive into this conversation, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below by clicking the notification bell and the button subscribe so you can find out more. Guys, what's going on? This topic was really interesting. I had a very distressing childhood going to school, and the whole thing, definite PTSD from high school. Now, I wrote about this all in my book, Autism for Adults. You can actually get it from the link in my bio. It's available on audio if you really want to, or you can get it on Amazon. Autism for Adults, I talk about where I came from being a little kid all the way to growing up right now. But when I was in school specifically, I was just an absolute mess. It was like I was being cast into the street naked with a bucket of cold water thrown over me every single day. It was not a pleasant experience, and I didn't understand why this was until now. Guys, before we get into the next part of the video, I just want to say thank you to today's sponsor, which is Brillia. Now, Brillia is a non-prescription, homeopathic, non-addictive medicine to help people with enhancing clarity and reducing things like stress, anxiety, irritability, and impulsivity, but also help with things like focus and attention. Now, for me being a person with ADHD, which is autism and ADHD, I find Brillia amazing. I've been taking it for 2 years, and it's definitely a lifeline. You take it throughout the day. They're like these little pills that you pop in your mouth. You pop 4 to 5 of them a day, and they just dissolve. There's no taste. It's super awesome, and I really enjoy it. Now, I highly recommend checking them out if you're interested, but before you do take anything like this, always consult with your doctor first to make sure that this is safe for you to take, because we're all individual. You can get 15% off Brillia if you wanted to try it right now using the link in my bio and the code ASPY15. That would be super awesome, guys. Please check them out. Thank you, Brillia. Okay, so I came across this article, and it was published in Psychology Today, and it outlines how autism school intervention can be damaging to autistic individuals. And I found this really interesting. Unless you're attending an autistic-specific facility in the school, there can be some really devastating feedback for the autistic individual. Namely, let's think about this. Doctors, general practitioners, and physicians, less than 50% of those have any training on autism. So if you're an autistic person and you go to see your physician or your general practitioner to get help, advice, or even just talking about anything, they're coming from a place that they know nothing about autism from. They are not going to a place where they understand what your situation may be, because they're not trained in autism. Now, if you think that's shocking, schools are even worse. Schooling environments normally have a SENCO, or a Special Educational Needs Coordinator. Now, these people are not always trained in autism. Sometimes they are, but they're definitely trained in children with disabilities. But they're not trained specifically in autism, because autism is a very complex need. But that's no excuse. Everybody dealing with children, especially children with complex needs, needs to have some background and some education and some training on this. That's another whole issue. But what is it that we are doing to cause PTSD for these types of children? The Psychology Today article says that, we're not treating the children like they're autistic. We're treating them like they are broken and we need to fix them, right? We're forcing them into situations like the setups are not available there, so that they may not have access to sensory breaks. They may not have access to routines. The timetable will switch about for the autistic person. They can't check out the classroom before actually entering it for the term. They can't do anything about wearing sunglasses to stop the phase of light flickering in their eyes. There are so many things that are not accommodating, let alone the ability to sit down and listen. If you have hyperactivity, if you have ADHD and autism together, listening and copying from the board, these are skills that people take for granted, but autistic people struggle with. So rather than the autistic person getting the help and support, they actually get a backlash, and then they get saying that they're complicated and they're complicating things, and people have, they come to the end of their tether, or they're struggling and they don't know what to do. And this leaves the autistic person feeling completely left out, completely unsupported, and alone in a situation which is already scary. This can cause mega amounts of PTSD. And when my child started school, I was a mess. I said to my partner, no, you can't go to school. It's no good. School is terrible for kids. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she went to a nice school and they understood their kids. But I went to a school where nobody understood me. I was locked in the classroom for an hour while they went to the swimming pool. I was locked in the classroom. Like, if there was a fire, there would have been some serious consequences there. Luckily, it never happened, obviously, because I'm here. Hey, and I detail this in my book in very good detail. But what I'm trying to say is that, I had PTSD from school, but it should have been the happiest forever because I love learning. I learn every single day. I have to be learning. I actually get depressed if I don't learn. So we are failing children on an epidemic scale when they have special educational needs. So I've written down some things that the mainstream system needs to have a look at. Like they're disciplining and treating behaviour when they should actually be doing things like understanding the behaviour of an autistic person and seeing what help they actually need. They need to be responding without diminishing the preschoolhood of self-esteem and the trust of an autistic person. You know, if you're diminishing self-esteem and you're not putting trust in a person, what are you doing? You're damaging their character and their growth becomes stunted, right? And providing an environment that's sensory relieving to an autistic person or even adapted to their sensory needs will help a student thrive in an environment that benefits them. Because the schooling environment should be beneficial to anybody. It should be beneficial to you. It should be beneficial to, you know, the learner, the classmate. It should be beneficial to everybody involved. But unfortunately, the schooling on mainstream schooling has little to no understanding of this. So what do we do? How do we come out of this? Well, the first thing to do is that if you have an autistic child, or if you are worried about special educational needs children in mainstream schools, I would highly suggest speaking to the school and seeing if they have a SENCO or a special educational needs coordinator that you can discuss a specific learning plan with that person that will allow them specific reasonable adjustments within that classroom environment. Now, I have a template letter, which I will leave available to you to download, where you can actually write to the school using this template to help understand what's going on. I actually have a PDF book all about school and autism. If you want to download that, it's available on my online store. It's extremely cheap, but it's an e-download. If you want to download that too, I will leave it in a link down below. But there are many things that we can do whilst discussing, because when we create an individual plan, when we discuss about an individual need, that individual then has been taken care of, and that care shows through in support and help. What that translates to the student, the pupil, the person, the child with specific needs, it shows that they are supported, they are validated, they are understood, and they are cared about, and they matter within that system. We all matter, but sometimes we need reassurance that we matter, especially if you have difficult, complex needs, and especially if you're going through a difficult and complex time whilst having those needs in an environment which is unnatural to you. Because we all know that home is a safe environment, and we all know that home is the best environment you could thrive in. So autistic individuals need to have the same reassurance, the same comfort they have at home, at school, because it's not about training somebody to be a soldier or a worker. It's about educating their mind to expand them, to creativity, to bloom, to allow them the best chance they can at having a job and being a social person in our society. That's what we need to do. Guys, if you have anything to add, pop it in a comment down below. I read every single one and respond to every single one. Share this video and give it a thumbs up if you think it was informational and awesome. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.